listening to A State of the Union, estate planning made simple. Here's your host, Brad Wiewel, from Texas Trust Law in Austin, Texas.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Estate of the Union podcast. My name's Zach Wiewel. I'm joined here today with Derrick from Ronald McDonald House Charities. And today we are going to be talking about all about Ronald McDonald House. I'm really excited to have you on. And just to everyone who's listening or watching right now, y'all have been around for, it sounds like, almost 50 years.
Exactly. Yeah, this is our 50th year anniversary this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And we have a lot of generous clients watching this and maybe some non-clients. And, our clients are philanthropists. We've helped give away over $400 million committed to going to charity over the last really 5-6 years. And so any opportunity we have to talk with a charity is just awesome, because I feel like the hardest part about running a charity sometimes is just getting the word out about how y'all help people in the community. And so, Derrick, if you wouldn't mind, just tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So Derrick Lesnau, I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Ronald McDonald House Charities, and have been with the organization for almost 18 years now. And so I've seen us grow from an organization serving 300 families annually to over 3,000 families annually.
Wow.
We've grown from having one program to now having 8 programs in 2 separate communities. So we operate programs here in Austin and Central Texas, and we also have programming in Bryan-College Station.
I'm an Aggie, so that's
there you go.
That's awesome.
I just was there on Wednesday, so I visit that community quite often. And even within the past 10 years that we've been in that community, it has just grown exponentially. And so, just like the healthcare in Austin and the healthcare in Bryan-College Station has grown, we have a need to grow as well. And so my job as Chief Operating Officer is to really support all of our program staff that operate all of our programs. And so we have the Ronald McDonald House, which is a 30-bedroom facility here in Austin, right on the campus in Miller, next to Dell Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
We also have a program called Ronald McDonald Family Room Program, which is a shrunken version of the Ronald McDonald House, but it's located inside the hospital.
Yeah.
So families that need a place to stay, to sleep, eat, grab something to drink, or just relax in a home-like environment, they don't even have to leave the physical hospital where their child is being treated. And we have 7 of those programs. And so we have 5 of them here in the Austin area, and we have 2 in the Bryan-College Station community.
That's really cool.
The third program we have is something called a Happy Wheels cart. And so the Happy Wheels cart's like an old school candy stripers, where we load up a cart with snacks, drinks, toiletries, games, puzzles, books, and we wheel it physically to the families in their patient rooms. So they don't have to leave the patient room to even access some of our services sometimes.
That's really cool. I never heard of that. That's awesome.
And so, those are our kind of our 3 main programs. And then something else we have is something called the Healing Hearts program. And that's our 4th program. It's a smaller program, but it's hugely impactful for those families that need it. It's a program where we offer bereavement support for those families that end up experiencing a loss.
Yeah.
And so, the vast majority of the time families are staying with us and they're using our services. They have their ups and downs, but at the end of the day, they get to take their child home and they're a family at home again. Sometimes that doesn't happen. And so, we don't want to leave the families in the lurch when that experience occurs. And so it's our way of wrapping our arms around them and providing financial support. So we help with bereavement cost or cremation and burial costs. And then we also have a licensed bereavement counselor that can walk them through that loss experience with other families that have a shared experience. And so those are our 4 core programs. And we've been operating out of our current location since 2007. We've been in Austin since 1985, and so as a system worldwide, the Ronald McDonald House Charities is celebrating its 50th year anniversary this year.
Wow.
Locally, our chapter is going to celebrate our 40th anniversary next year, so we've got some cool milestones coming up.
That's really cool. The first 2 years of my practice, all I did was help people when someone passed away. And it's tough. I mean, I meet with them a month, 2 months after the fact, and it can still be really tough, just the emotions, the grief, and just kind of comprehend all that stuff. So y'all are literally on the front lines, it sounds like, with the bereavement programs you have, just caring for people and loving on people after they just lost someone they love dearly.
Yeah. It's one of those experiences that unless you've experienced it, you can't really relate. And so providing vehicles for families to share those experiences with others that can relate to them is hugely impactful. And after so many years of working with our bereavement counselors, something that I've learned is just, it's not something that you ever get over. It's not something that ever goes away. It's a journey. And so grief is something that you learn to deal with differently every day. And it's not a straight line.
Yeah.
It's peaks and valleys. And so,
well, even you see people 5-10 years after the fact, it's just, you still see them. You talk about their lost husband, lost child, and the tears still come to their eyes because grief is not stagnant. It's always with you.
Exactly.
Better at hiding it or dealing with it, but it never goes away.
Yeah. And so, y'all know the same kind of experiences that families that go through, just in a different setting. And so, it's really important for us to acknowledge that pain and provide them with those support services that they need. And so, the families that we work with, they come from all backgrounds.
Yeah, can you give me a little picture of a typical person you guys help?
Exactly. So there is no typical, right?
Okay,
and so every day is different, and that's one of the exciting things about working for Ronald McDonald House Charities is no 2 days are alike.
Yeah.
It's a very unique service that we only provide, and it's so needed because all it takes is for a family to have a sick child in the hospital to need us. And so when we say sick child, a pediatric patient is defined as somebody who's 21 years and younger. So if somebody is 21 years and younger, they're in the hospital, and their family needs to come from out of town in order to be with them during their care, they qualify for our services.
Yeah.
There's no financial requirement. There's no, qualifying or application that has to be put in. It's literally, we get an email from the hospital social worker or case manager or nurse, and they say, we have a family that's coming in from 30, 40, 100, 300 miles away. They need a place to stay for the next week, 2 weeks, months. Do you have a room?
Yeah.
We get in touch with the family immediately, and we let them know that we were informed that you need our services. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that you are able to receive our services. Right now, we are operating at almost 100% occupancy every single day at our Ronald McDonald House.
Every day?
Every day. We have a wait list of almost 20 families every day that need our services that have to wait about 2 weeks before they can come in and check in. We have just seen the medical care community here in Austin and Central Texas grow exponentially over the last several years. And we have to keep pace with that need. And so right now, our real focus is to increase awareness in the community so that people are aware. We're turning away 6 out of every 10 families that need us right now.
Wow.
Families are sleeping in their cars, they're sleeping in hospital waiting rooms. They are reverting to any resource they can so that they can be here with their child in next to their, the hospital that they're being treated at. And that's our job. That's our bread and butter. That's what we want to do, is we want to make sure that the medical professionals are focusing on the child and the patient, and then we're doing everything else for the family. And so right now, our real need is to expand our services and increase awareness so that we can meet that need. We have a 30-bedroom house right now. We need to triple that.
Yeah.
And so our hope is in the next few years to be able to accomplish that, but we need the help of the community. We really need support in increasing awareness for this need. And so, get in touch with us. RMHC-CTX.org is a great website that we have, and there's a lot of different ways that people can learn on how to provide their support for us. We have a legacy giving program where families can learn about how they can support us now, and they can also learn about how they can support us when they pass, so that their financial gifts can pay it forward and provide lodging and support services for families even after they're gone.
Yeah, and that's one thing that a lot of our clients like to do, Derrick, is maybe for whatever reason they need to hold on to the money now, but when they pass away, I mean, it's a great opportunity to just help charities, help children, help families just stay together during this really tough time. And I mean, there's a lot of benefits to doing it while you're alive, when you pass away, especially when there's taxes in play. But I mean, I feel like there's just a lot of good reasons to do it, not a lot to not do it.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back, and could you just briefly tell me about the history of Ronald McDonald House Charities, like how it started, and then kind of how we got to now?
Yeah. So again, we're really kind of in celebration mode this year. It's the 50th anniversary of Ronald McDonald House Charities, and so the first house started in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And it's really kind of a cool story. So there was an oncologist, a pediatric oncologist by the name of Dr. Audrey Evans, and she was working at Children's Hospital Philadelphia. She was treating pediatric cancer patients.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about just the most resilient kids that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
They wouldn't act like anything's wrong with them at all, or that they're battling any kind of life challenging illness. But the parents and the families they're the ones that are absorbing a lot of that. And Dr. Audrey Evans always said that, when you're treating a sick child, you're treating a sick family.
Yeah.
And so one of the children that she was treating was a little girl by the name of Kim Hill. She was the daughter of Fred and Fran Hill. Fred Hill used to play tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles back in the 70s.
Okay.
And so she was talking to him about the need for a house that was across the street from Children's Hospital Philadelphia. She wanted to purchase it. She wanted to provide a place for families, again, to remain close but have a home-like environment so that they could maintain their own self-care, so that when they went home with the patient, they could maintain the regimen and the treatment that the child needed so they wouldn't relapse and have to go back to the hospital. She was finding families sleeping in hospital waiting rooms, eating lunch and dinner at vending machines, and not maintaining their own self-care. So by the time they took their child home, they were completely wiped.
Yeah.
So Fred Hill was like, this is a really great effort. I'm going to go back to the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm going to see if there's anything we can do to help raise awareness about this. Jim Murray was the GM at the time. Jim Murray's friend was an owner, operator of McDonald's restaurants in the Philadelphia area.
That's how the connection.
That's how the tie got in. And so Jim Murray said, is there anything we can do? Is there anything you can do to raise awareness? The owner-operator at the time said, you know what? You let the Philadelphia Eagles come into some of my commercials, we'll give you the proceeds from the Shamrock Shake. It was around St. Patty's Day, so they sold all these Shamrock Shakes, the green shakes back in the day, and they raised enough money to meet the need to buy that house across from the street from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
Wow.
Audrey Evans was obviously hugely thankful and appreciative, and she asked them what they wanted to name the house. And Jim Murray said, well, the McDonald's owner-operator was a huge partner in this. What do you want to name it? And he said, well, why don't we name it something that puts kids at ease? Everybody knows Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
How about we call it the Ronald McDonald House?
Yeah.
50 years later, there's over 300 Ronald McDonald House chapters around the entire world. It is a global community. Almost 90% of pediatric hospitals have some form of RMHC programming associated with it. And it's just amazing at how much it's grown. And to this day, McDonald's is one of our largest mission partners.
Yeah.
February 1st through February 14th is a campaign called Share the Love.
Okay.
Customers can go to the McDonald's and they can ask to buy a $1, $3, or $5 donation house, write the name of somebody that they want to commemorate in memory or in honor of. They slap it up on the windows of McDonald's, and for 2 weeks, the McDonald's Corporation really wraps their arms around us here at the Central Texas community and tries to raise funds for us.
Yeah, I remember. I'm a big McDonald's fan.
Yeah, who isn't?
Yeah, right. That's so good. I just remember there used to be one right across the street from this office, and I remember going right after school. I remember seeing those things on the wall. I just didn't know it was like a.
Well, now you know. That's how it got started.
Yeah.
And so that's a very focused 2-week campaign that the McDonald's partners support us. Year-round, they support us with a program called Roundup. And so if you go to McDonald's, which I just did on Wednesday, I have my Elgin. I have my Elgin. I do. I have my Elgin McDonald's I go to. I get my coffee and hash brown on my way to Bryan College Station to visit our team there. And you can say Roundup, which means it comes to $4.25. You say round up, that 75 cents goes to Ronald McDonald House Charities.
Oh, wow.
There's so many cashless transactions now. You know, you can also go to the countertop, and if you pay with cash, there's a canister there. You can dump your change in.
I saw one this week.
There you go. And so, you know, those kinds of small ways add up. You know, it's that exponential giving that, you know, it's like compound interest, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit goes a long way. And so you compile all these donations from these McDonald's customers, and it adds up to over $100,000, you know, every campaign for this Share the Love campaign. Last year, I think the McDonald's customer base almost raised about $170,000 for us through the Roundup campaign.
Wow.
And that's a program that's just going to continue to grow. So
Yeah.
if you weren't aware of that, you know, and you want to support us through your McDonald's purchase, then that's an easy way to give.
Yeah, that's another excuse to go to McDonald's.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So if you wouldn't mind just kind of telling me more about, I guess, what are y'all's goals for the next couple of years? What are y'all looking to achieve? You said 6 out of 10 families get turned down. How can we go about, you said you wanted to build another facility?
Yes, we need to expand.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we are wanting to educate the community about what our need is.
What's the best way to educate people?
The best way to educate people is to come to the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah.
Contact us, our development team, our staff. We love to show off the space.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to understand what we do is to physically visit the space that we do it in. When you are walking into the kitchen and you see a family come down, and we have volunteers from a law firm there making breakfast for the families. It smells like bacon in the morning. It smells like home.
Yeah.
And the families don't have to worry about going to the grocery store to buy those groceries or
Well, they're
take
already
the
in a
time.
weird city a lot of the
Exactly.
times.
And so, you know, we have so many volunteers that come in and support these these families, that's one of the biggest ways that our families benefit. So we have volunteer opportunities, we have fundraising events, we have people that can sign up to be monthly donors. But if people aren't aware of what we do, then we enjoy the opportunity of having them over and giving them a tour. We're right there on 51st Street.
Yep.
We're on the campus of Adult Children's Medical Center currently.
Perfect. Yeah.
We also have family rooms at St. David's Medical Center, at Seton Medical Center, at St. David's Women's Center of North Austin.
Anyone could just maybe reach out and just drop
Anybody
in?
can reach out to us, and
Yeah.
we'll schedule a time for a little tour.
That's really
and
cool.
so, one of our main focuses right now is to increase awareness, increase our donor base, increase our supporters, so that we can expand like we need to meet the need.
Yeah.
Our goal is to not only be there for families prior to the child receiving care, obviously during their treatment we
Yeah.
need to be there, and then how can we support them after the children are discharged. And so, we partner with a lot of other nonprofits and organizations here in town, so that if there's something that the families need that we don't provide, we refer them to another organization that can meet that need. And so, a lot of our focus right now is really how do we improve our existing services, which we survey our guest families after they are done and during their stay, so they can tell us what's working, how can we improve, is there a home-like type of resource that they don't or that we don't provide that they want to have access to. We're always looking to grow and improve our existing services. We have a continuous improvement mindset. We know the families that rave about our services are really appreciative, but we know that we can do better.
Yeah.
And so, how can we close that gap from good to great? And our one of the focuses right now is to really embrace the growing medical community. And so we have great relationships with all of our medical hospital partners. We know other medical pediatric medical providers are coming to town, and so we want to be there to welcome them and partner with them. And we really have no allegiance to one network or the other. We have the benefit of being Switzerland. We want to just partner with all of our pediatric medical providers. So that
It's about the mission. It's not
about the mission.
pet
Exactly.
favorites. It's
100%.
Let's help families.
If there's a child that's in the hospital and their family needs care, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So, just kind of growing up, I feel like there are some misperceptions about Ronald McDonald House just because it's associated with this awesome but large fast food chain.
Yes.
Can you tell me about some of those more common misperceptions and kind of how they're maybe wrong or just inaccurate?
So many misconceptions.
Yeah.
So one of the misconceptions is, yes, well, McDonald's fully funds all of our operations, and we don't have to worry about fundraising. That's not true at all.
Yeah.
Now, again, our Central Texas McDonald owner operators, there's about 20 families that own about over 70 stores throughout the Austin and Central Texas community. Through the campaign of Share the Love and through Roundup and through the donation boxes and through their own personal giving, comprise about 10% of our annual operating funds.
Okay.
The other 90%.
That's only 10%. Wow.
The other 90% of our almost $4 million operating budget has to come from private donations. We have an amazing fundraising team that goes and creates relationships with businesses, local companies, new companies moving to town, establishing those relationships, and again, just relating our mission and our story and our services to the interests of their employees and their staffs. We have local community groups, church groups, schools, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, local service organizations like YMSL, NCL, these types of organizations, Links, so many different community groups that really embrace us as an organization that they want to support. And so that's one of the big misconceptions is we just get a ton of funding from a corporation, and
you don't need any more money.
We don't need any more money, exactly.
Like,
now, corporate
percentage.
McDonald's again does leverage their weight, so they support us. If they have a large vendor like Coca-Cola or Georgia Pacific or a large supplier, then they say you're going to need to support Ronald McDonald House Charities. How are you going to do it? So again, McDonald's does leverage their support from the corporate level. The local McDonald's operators are obviously huge supporters of our mission. We just had them over this past Monday for our Share the Love rally. So we had all the managers from the different stores over.
Yeah.
We had a rally. We just thanked them and expressed our excitement and appreciation for this 2-week effort that they're about to undergo during the Share the Love. So that's one misconception. The other misconception is we only serve families of cancer patients, or we only serve dying patients, or we only serve families being treated at the hospital that we're located next to, right? We don't only serve families of the hospital that we're next to. We serve families of any pediatric medical care provider. So those kinds of misconceptions we definitely want to dispel. We are going to serve any family that brings their child to Austin for pediatric medical care. We need huge support from our community to do what we do. Otherwise, there is no mission to carry out if we were not able to raise the funds to pay for the facility that we live in, have the appropriate staffing so that we can provide this direct support for our families, make sure that we have volunteers that are helping us bring in services. There's only about 30 of us on staff. We could not serve the number of families that we do without the community support that we have. And so to those in the community that already support us, thank you so much. We could not do it without you. To those that want to get involved, give us a call, look us up. We're happy to show you around. Definitely want to get you involved and expose our mission to you.
So that kind of leads me to the last kind of couple related questions I have for you. I mean, there's two ways to give. There's giving your time and there's giving your money. Let's talk first with time, go to money after that. In terms of volunteering, how can people get involved? What programs are there for people, whether it's actually volunteering or just being around the Ronald McDonald community?
Yeah, great. That's a great question. We have, again, our 4 main programs, and each of those 4 programs, we need volunteer support.
Yeah.
So at the Ronald McDonald House, we have groups that come in and prepare lunch and dinner, or breakfast, or brunch on the weekends for families. We have weekly volunteers that come in and help us organize storage rooms, answer phones, write thank you cards, greet guests as they come in, help us deliver supplies to guest rooms. We have our Ronald McDonald Family Room programs, again, in 7 different hospitals. We can't have all of our staff running all of those programs all the time, right? We need volunteers from the community to come in and work a 3 or 4 hour shift so they can sit in the family room and provide that space for families that have children being treated in that hospital. Without those volunteers, it's just a glorified waiting room. Volunteers provide that listening ear, they provide that compassion, they provide that ability to assist families when they're staying and using the resources in the family room. We have the Happy Wheels cart. That is purely run by volunteers.
Oh, really? Okay.
100% volunteer-run program. So the volunteers come in, they come to our family room where the Happy Wheels are stored, they load up all the supplies, they run around the hospital for about an hour, and then they're done. So, we have 3 or 4 hour volunteer shifts, and we have an hour-long volunteer shift.
Any day of the week?
Any day of the week, 7 days a week. We're open just like the hospitals, 365, 24/7.
Wow.
We have volunteers that help us off-site. So there's a wish list, right? You imagine what your family of 3 or 4 or 5 might need at home when it comes to just household goods. Multiply that by 30. That's how many trash bags, toilet paper, paper towels, toothpaste, shampoo, those kinds of household supplies. We need those items donated so that we don't have to spend our own financial resources on purchasing those. Every dollar diverted from our direct programming is a dollar taken away from providing support to those families. So those kinds of wish list items that we need donated is a huge way that people can support us on their own time without having to come in for a specific shift, a specific day or time. And then again, the giving of the financial gifts, and we always say there's so many ways that you can help us. It's time, talent, treasure. And in essence, they're giving us their trust, and that's the 4th T, right? And so when people donate at McDonald's and give us the cash in the canister box, or say they round up, or they become a monthly donor and they give, $10, $25, $100, $500 a month on our website, that is a consistent source of funding that we know that we can provide the mission to the families that we're serving. And so those are the kind of some of the various ways that we need support. And again, with the minimal staff, we try to keep staffing sufficient enough to carry out all the programs that we need, with also the understanding that we're going to get a huge boost from our community.
Yeah, now again, going back to our clients, one of the best things I like about working with them is that they are generous with their time, and whether it's doing the monthly contributions or volunteering, or again, plan giving is huge for us. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Is the best way, I guess, to give to Central Texas Ronald McDonald, is it online, or what's the best way to just kind of
The best way is to connect with our team.
Okay.
And so, we have an info at rmhc-ctx.org website. There's, so many different contacts on our website that people can reach out to, but really establishing that connection, allowing us to walk people through the different vehicles that are available for supporting us. A legacy giving program is important because whether they want to begin their support for us now, or potentially explore giving to us when they're no longer here, then those transitions can take place pretty seamlessly, and with support from law firms like yourself, there's a lot of transitions that can take place that make it fairly easy for families to support us in that way. And so our legacy giving program is a great way for us to connect with families now while they're here and they're living, and they can see the value of their gift to us in action.
Well, we always tell our clients, if they're comfortable doing this, give stuff to your kids now or your loved ones now so you can see them enjoy it.
Exactly.
I mean, you could tangibly see these families benefiting from it now because, I mean, again, families, they don't expect an illness or someone to get sick and then they just get wiped out financially. You can change that for these families, and that's awesome.
It's huge. We have so many instances where families will check in and they have a good job, they have a good home, they have a good place to live back home, and then this pediatric medical crisis hits, and they're here with us, away from their home, away from their job for months.
Yeah.
And sometimes their employers aren't very kind, sometimes their landlords aren't very kind, and they end up leaving without a place to stay, without employment by the time their child is discharged. And these are the kinds of crushing experiences that we like to, we hate seeing, but the gifts that our community gives us allows us to meet that gap and provide families with a little bit of assistance to help them, after they're no longer with us. Again, that's one of the major challenges that we see sometimes is how do we support families once they're no longer staying with us? And again, the legacy giving program is something that the community can really get involved with now, and then understand and appreciate how much their gifts are going to mean to these families after they pass.
Yeah. Well, Derrick, I learned a lot. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Is there any last thing you'd like to say about whether how to donate or just last parting thoughts?
Yeah, thank you again for having me. It's been a blast. Really appreciate the ability to just convey the need and raise awareness. When we started down this road of exploring how we're going to meet the growing community need, of the pediatric care providers here in town, we were told we need to raise awareness, we need to grow our base, we need to grow the support that we have. And so opportunities like this is a huge way for us to just communicate. We're here. We hope you never need us, but if you do, we're going to be here. And how can we be here for those hundreds and thousands of families over the next few years that are going to need the medical care that's being grown and expanded here in the Austin and Central Texas community, as well as the Bryan College Station community. And so, please reach out. We'd love to show you around. We'd love to give you a tour at the Ronald McDonald House or one of our Ronald McDonald family rooms. Our team is just excited at the opportunity to inform you how to get involved. And so I would just invite people to our website, rmhc-ctx.org, and then reach out to one of us, and we'd love to welcome you.
Okay. Well, Derrick, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on, and thank you everyone for listening. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.